Word list 6. Obsess. Evans early was obsessed by the possibilities of mechanized production and steam power. Atomic. Atoms that have different atomic numbers generally behave differently. Senior. He has 10 years' experience at senior management level. Finalize. We will meet tomorrow to finalize the terms of the treaty. Utter. He didn't utter a word during lunch. Outrageously. These watches are outrageously expensive. Mammal. Desert-adapted mammals have the further ability to feed normally when extremely dehydrated. Bare. I like to walk around in bare feet. Sticky. My fingers are sticky from that candy bar. Personnel. The fungus infections afflicted many military personnel. Inclination. They had neither the skills nor the inclination to become farmers. Particle. The smoke particles are so small that they cool rapidly. Notify. I didn't notify them about camp registration. Survey. A survey is a study, generally in the form of an interview or a questionnaire. Abortive. Tom tried to unlock the door, but his attempt proved abortive. Catholic. One of the world's largest religions, Christianity, later split into Catholic and Protestant. Offset. The good news is that international trade will provide an offset. Stable. The patient's condition is becoming stable after injection. Ambiguity. I find that this word itself is full of ambiguity. Retrospective. I went to an exhibition that is a retrospective view of many famous artists' works. Overt. As the text reads, we should learn to fight the enemy in both overt and covert ways. Contributory. Many factors were contributory to the failure of this project. Strenuous. Regular exercises can adapt the body for strenuous activities. Puff. I don't like smokers who puff their cigarette smoke into my eyes. Instill. Teachers try to instill some new ideas into students' minds. Depress. It depressed me that nobody seemed to care about my absence. Avenge. The girl was determined to avenge herself on the man who had betrayed her. Meditate. Some people meditate to improve their spiritual life, and others want to find inner peace. Ensure. What can we do to ensure that each staff get the medical insurance? Gush. Tom likes to gush out ideas to impress others. Predispose. Too much stress can predispose people to heart attacks. Languish. Although we are living in the prosperous city, millions of people still languish in poverty. Ravage. The girl was in despair because of her ravaged face from the accident. Exodus. Once the exodus begins, everyone may go through the same exit. Compound. Kilns are used to dissolve iron compounds. Subject. Organic material trapped in sediments is slowly buried and subject to increased temperatures and pressures. Couple. I have already had a couple of ideas about how to do this experiment. Downtown. I just got back from the new art gallery downtown. Backlighting. Mild. The southwestern coastal region has a humid, mild marine climate. Consistency. Unitarians stress the consistency of the character portrayed in the poetry. Exalt. He was exalted to the position of manager. Soluble. Glucose is soluble in water. Academy. The Academy was founded in March 2004 in response to demand for knowledge and skills in intellectual property training. Prodigious. Desert animals can drink prodigious volumes of water in a short time. Brief. They are having a brief staff meeting. Optimistic. Few people are optimistic about the team's chances of winning. Marked. Crows have marked preferences for certain kinds of foods. Typify. These houses, which were popular in the early 1900s, typify what's known as the unique style. Imitation. The increasing popularity of winter cycling can be attributed to the creation of mountain bike and its subsequent imitations. Gallery. The gallery is a good place for the exhibition. Compile. Computers can quickly compile and analyze this large volume of weather information. Propel. The small plants and animals float about or weakly propel themselves through the sea. Hoe. You should hoe the flower beds. Stride. They are making great strides in the search for a cure. Fade. I've heard the printing really fades when you wash them. Tunnel. These caves form a labyrinth of tunnels. Highlight. The light highlights the figures of the sailors. Friction. The forward movement of a small animal is seriously reduced by the air friction. Calm. A majority of people take investment in stock market seriously because the financial markets are still not calm at the moment. Wrinkle. There are fine wrinkles around her eyes. Cube. Cut the meat into cubes. Plank. The central plank of the bill was urban development. Transfer. Pollen can be transferred by birds that come into contact with flowers. Situated. If a city is well situated in regard to its hinterland, its development is much more likely to continue. Eclecticism. It is accompanied by a nostalgic impulse for the past, and at the same time by an international cultural eclecticism. Piracy. During periods of heavy piracy at sea, the amount of interest and the cost of the policy went up considerably. Deception. He was accused of obtaining property by deception. Blanket. The trial was conducted under a blanket of secrecy. Subtle. This interdependence is sometimes subtle, sometimes obvious. Dissenter. It's important in building our organizational machines not to exclude the dissenters. Habit.
Professor Johnson, for my sociology project this term, I'm thinking of interviewing all the residents in town on their TV viewing habits.
Dictate. The quality of the hinterland dictated the pace of growth of the cities. Subway. You can take the subway to get there. Aroma. The aroma of fresh pastry came to us from the kitchen. Niche. Ancestral horse types moved from their forest niche out onto the grassy plains. Rush. When gold was discovered in California in the mid-1800s, hundreds of people rushed in, hoping to get a part of the wealth. Embody. That's a national team that embodies competitive spirit and skill. Inviting. The regions have become increasingly inviting playgrounds for the growing number of recreation seekers. Elective. Students are required to take at least 8 elective courses. Benefit. He has benefited from the woman's help.